Hello there, it's me again, Amelie Brown. This is your introduction to week 5. I hope you can access all the materials that I've linked from the module for week 5 for you to review. So here I would like to talk a little bit about what I did to search for an image and a specific website to add information to my topic. You know how they say an image is worth 1,000 words? So let's see what we can find. I typed in Colin Kaepernick kneeling, and then 547,000 websites come up. But thankfully, Google has set up the image option. So if I scroll down just a little more, then I see this picture of the cover of Time magazine that shows Kaepernick all by himself, not within a group of other people. So this is a pretty stark image. The fact that it is published on the cover of Time magazine gives his stance a lot of credence, I would say. And also I think it's very interesting that they have the inscription, "The Perilous Fight," on the side. So what I want to do is go and visit the page that this image was published on. So now it takes me to Hip Hop Wired, where they describe, where they show the picture, and they also give me some of the justification that Time magazine cited for putting Colin Kaepernick kneeling on their cover. So once I have this information, I want to go to Noodle Tools. I've already opened my project, and I want to create a new citation for the source, right? So I click on Sources, and here is my list of existing sources. But then I go to Create New Citation, and in this case I'm going to select Website because I did use the open web to find this image. And then I want to select Photo or Image Born Digital. And we will see in a moment why, because when you open that, you get to the Show Me module. So we do want to look at that, where they explain, so what is a born digital image? It was created by a digital camera, a computer screen, a capture program, desktop scanner, etc., etc. Right? So we do have a born digital image. They talk about how it can be evaluated, and then they talk about how to cite it. Okay? So I can go close the slideshow, continue on to the citation, where it asks me about all the different aspects of it. And in fact, and then in the annotation, I remind myself about how I found the source, right? So then when I click on Submit, it creates my citation for me for the photo or image born digital. Here is the citation information, and here is my comment on how I found this article. And then here's my quotation from what Time magazine said, why they selected it, and I'm thinking that this is really validating the protest that Kaepernick chose to perform, and that they help to spread the message to a larger audience. Okay, so next let's go back to Google and think about the additional information that I still need for my advocacy letter. Okay, so here we are back at Google. I kept my initial statement, Colin Kaepernick kneeling, but then I added a statement, right? So what did he say? But it turns out that it's only other people explaining why Colin Kaepernick sat or knelt during the national anthem. and it's not really his own words. So I can't really think of another way to say it, so that's what I'm going to type in. And I'm typing it in quotation marks, not because I want to make fun of it, but so that those three words, his own words, that is treated as if it was one word, right? So now I click on search, and by ESPN has published a transcript of his comments. So those will be his actual words. And it's the ESPN website. They have a blog, NFL Nation, and one of the posts from August 28th, whoops, we gotta stop the advertisement, from August 28th by Nick Wagoner is the transcript of his comments. And there's actually a lot of interesting pieces in it that I can quote on my note card and then comment on it, right? So, especially right when he talks about the veterans, that in fact he is not disrespecting the military, but rather he's saying that the veterans are the ones that the men and women in uniform have fought for all of us to have, right? Okay, now let's go back to Noodle Tools and create a new citation. Again, we have a website, but now what do we choose? Is this a magazine? ESPN is not really a magazine, is it? Is it a news group? I think once I looked closer at the website that gave me the information and especially the URL for it, you see how it says blog. So that's when I decide that I want to treat it as a blog. Again, it gives you information on how to evaluate a blog, how to know that that's really what you have. And you click on continue and fill out the citation for it, including a little description of how you found it, right? Then you want to click on submit. And then here is my citation for the blog, right? And here is my reminder of how I found it. And of course, I've evaluated it, right? ESPN as a reputable service to report about sports. We've followed this particular reporter for many years, so he knows what he's talking about. And it's just the fact that Colin Kaepernick talked to him is quite remarkable in itself, right? So here I am quoting some of the statements that Kaepernick made. I'm interpreting what he says, and then I think I remind myself of what that means in terms of my particular project. So I hope this gave you some idea of how this week's assignments can be completed. Please remember to be very discriminating. I really want to use that word in this context. When you search for content on the open web, right? What exactly is it? What's that last little piece that you need to make your argument in your advocacy letter? And also be very careful in evaluating the website that you select so that you can be sure that it's trustworthy. I look forward to all of your contributions, and it's been a very interesting exploration so far, and it's only going to get more interesting, right? Take care.